that Cinema is just such a great opening track, you know? Just love that.
Yeah, it's very cinematic, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's got a lot of motion. So we finally got, I mean, not finally like we waited forever and it was late, but we're happily announcing that we received our tangible product. We are both really into tangible products. And we got our CDs, the John Anderson and the Band Geeks album True. And we're going to review the packaging, which we always like to do, right?
That's Dan, by the way. I'm Steven.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So yeah, and we got these from Talk Shop Live, and they came with these autographed inserts right here. And the way it was described, I thought this was gonna be inside of the CD case, but it was inside of the envelope that it came in. It's like a little bit bigger than the
That's how mine came too.
The length of the
it is bigger,
height or whatever.
Mine's back
the
there.
CD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's cool.
Yeah, but it looks really nice, and the booklet inside. I guess I'll show the inside there. You got the album cover on the disc, and on the back of the booklet is a picture of the Band Geeks. John and the Band Geeks, along with the credits and whatnot. Yeah, I do kind of wish there were a couple more photos of the Band Geeks, but we do get a few cool photos of John as well within the booklet. Let's see, how many are there? There are about 4. Yeah, 4 of them.
I'll give a little show and tell while you narrate.
Yeah, and of course these include the lyrics. They look like they're stylized in such a way. I kind of wonder if this is supposed to be like John's handwriting, perhaps, or maybe just some other stylistic thing.
You know what it is? It's like here, I'll show it up close as I describe what it reminds me of. It looks like maybe the person who wrote Close to the Edge just learned how to write a little neater.
Yeah, it looks kind of blurry, so I don't know how good it looks.
Sorry. But if you look at the sleeve, though, of here, you know what? I'm going to try something just for fun. Does that help? Oh, there it is.
No, I think that makes it worse because of the shine. Shine on. Yeah, so I went almost a week without my most recent listening of this. So I had
so cranky too.
So I had a bit of a gap between listens, and I kind of forgot that Shine On was not the first track, because that was the first single we listened to. But
I listened to it last night for the first time in about as long. That's interesting. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, and what's also funny is, it begins with True Messenger, and if you're not looking at the change in track, it almost feels like Shine On sort of segues from True Messenger.
Yeah. I just want to mention, and I don't mean to sound like the old curmudgeon in the room, although it is just me and Steve's over there in Downey. I wish the font was just a little bigger. I think there's enough room here and there where it could have been a little bigger, but that's why I have this.
Yeah, that magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a vinyl version, but I ordered this like before I got my record player, but I'm quite happy with the copy that I have.
Yep. The only reason I have mine handy is because I was waiting to do this show, and then this thing's going in the truck, in the tray, in the carousel, and it's staying there.
Yeah, and look at the writing credits again. I already mentioned, like Jonathan Elias, Jimmy Hahn, Robin Crow, but I'm not sure that I mentioned Jamie Dunlap.
Maybe this
last time. He
have both pairs of glasses on and a magnifying glass.
Yeah, so Jamie Dunlap co-wrote True Messenger, and I was trying to wrap my head around, like, where did I heard that name before? And so I looked back at John's 2011 solo album, Survival and Other Stories, and he co-wrote a few of the songs on there. New
Oh,
World, Effortlessly, and Sharpening the Sword, which makes sense. I mean, that opening song, True Messenger, feels like it kind of could have been on Survival and Other Stories.
like seriously. Can you read the back of this clearly?
Yeah, but I think my eyesight is better than yours.
Yeah, well, obviously you don't wear glasses, but even with my glasses and the reading part, it's a challenge. But it's beautiful packaging. The album is so good. If you haven't seen it, folks, watch our review. We also show a review of the concert with clips that we shot ourselves, including some of one of the originals. We won't spoil it, but I like it. It's an old fashioned, nice jewel case, and the
Yeah, and you got the Frontiers music logo on the disc.
little bit of
Um,
nature artwork there. Yeah,
well, what's funny is I think Frontiers was the label that Yes were on for Fly From Here and Heaven and Earth.
yeah.
So yeah, right now Yes are on Inside Out Music and John's on Frontiers. So it's kind of funny how that worked out.
Oh,
Um,
I'm just noticing. Uh, I didn't know Frontiers is based in Italy.
yeah, I remember reading about that. Yeah,
I don't remember that. That's interesting.
yeah, and I think last time we know when we did our full review of the album, I think I forgot to mention that the guitar work at the beginning of Make It Right is just so beautiful.
Yeah. Do you
It,
have any idea if the stuff in the booklet comes as a bigger booklet in the vinyl, or is it all on both sides of the sleeve? Do you happen to know?
um
If
that's a
anyone
good
has the vinyl, let us know. If Steve doesn't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would imagine it would probably have a booklet like this, just bigger, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it could just be on the sleeve, which would be okay. That's how albums came back in the day. Before that, often albums came where the record company put other albums of other artists that they had on printed on the sleeve. So you'd be like an advertisement, you know what I mean? Have you seen that?
Uh Maybe I was kind of thinking of something else while you were explaining all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Sorry, I was
sleeve,
just like noticing how like the font of the songs is similar to like how the title is. Yeah.
yeah.
It's sort of like it's not like Times New Roman, but it's kind of something sort of
No,
similar to
no,
that,
it's
right?
much more like Old English.
Right, yeah, Old English,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I was thinking of like the like way it's curved and like the points at the ends, but yeah.
Yeah. The serifs. Those are called
Yeah,
serifs.
the serifs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend too much time on uh like this next bit I'm gonna mention, but I thought it was really weird when people put so much focus on the album cover. Like, people were saying,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
is this an R&B album type thing? And I did briefly wonder like if this fits the music, but then I just moved on. But everyone else, lots of people were like fixating on it, and it was just really weird.
I've
And
never understood. Like I'm looking at it now, and
yeah, like I'm used to it now, and I think it fits the music really well.
yeah, people were tripping on the type of microphone. Like, really?
Yeah, I
Don't
mean, I'm
do
not an
something with your
engineer, so
tongue.
like I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
know.
but
It's not
yeah,
a typical microphone someone would use live, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a live shot, but it could be a studio shot, and one would not be holding it if they were singing in the studio. But still, it's like, why would you, if you're a fan, why would you criticize that? Or is it because he has sunglasses on? Is that why they thought it was R&B? Or I just,
yeah,
I'm
I don't
so
know, but
disconnected to what that dialogue was. I know you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but
no, yeah, like,
it's
but I did,
John. It's
but
John.
yeah, like Deborah did a good job with that. She's a photographer herself. John's daughter, Deborah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I got used to it, and I think it matches the music pretty well. Um,
Yeah,
and
everything about this, I do like the font and everything. It's just so small. for me. But I love it. I love that there's a booklet. I love that there's lyrics. You know, they didn't spare any information, which is great. Great picture
Yeah.
of the guys, obviously during rehearsal for the tour.
Yeah, and I see on the back here, like
Maybe
in really
record.
tiny
Yeah.
letters, it says produced by John Anderson and Richie Castellano, mixed by Richie Castellano, and
Yeah.
mastered by Sam Stauff at Mercy Studios.
But Andy also engineered with Richie. Andy A.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the guitar player.
What? No, Andy A is the drummer.
Oh, just kidding. Who's going to be on our show? Just kidding.
Yeah, we're waiting to
It's
hear
a small
back
font.
on
It's a
his
small font.
availability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obviously still on tour.
Yeah. Well, they're taking a little break between legs, but maybe after this next leg, yeah, because I sent dates that are like after the next leg. So
Yeah, I'm just curious if there's other names I recognize.
right. And something that sort of registered with me is that, you know, people are like comparing this against older Yes albums, but I think with this, a little bit of a difference is that, you know, when I think of classic Yes albums, I think of more like it's a very thin difference, but I sort of think of songs that have a bit more breathing room between the singing. Whereas here, it's like there's more singing. Like there's still those breathing room moments here and there, just maybe not to the extent of the way that those Yes albums would compromise, you know, trying
Yeah.
to go between instrumental parts and singing parts, if that makes sense.
It does, and I agree. And having said all that, it's still, this album absolutely has its own sound. The band is just amazing. It sounds modern. It doesn't sound dated. Uh, it's in the spirit of, you know, what John's always done, but it's right here, right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we were talking about familiar moments. Like I think
Yeah.
part of like the end of Counties and Countries is a bit Starship Trooper-ish, but you know, the more I've listened to this album, the more it feels like more of its own thing. And there are those, you know, bits of John's sound that he's included in stuff over the past decade or so. And, you know, maybe he would have injected some of that into further Yes albums. We can't really know. But
Yeah.
yeah, like it definitely feels like it stands on its own pretty well.
So well that, you know, hearing this, I'm fine with him not being in Yes and having this instead.
Well, you better be careful, Dad.
Well, well,
No,
I know.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
yeah. No, like I'm happy with both of their paths. You know.
Yeah, definitely. But this is great. My point is that look what he's done on his own, well, over the years, but just this project alone, look at what he's done with these new guys, this new band that he, you know, latched with, partnered with, and it
Yeah.
sounds great. It really, really sounds great. And they should
Yeah.
all be proud of themselves, all of them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And the
So
performance was just mind blowing. Mind blowing. The originals, and weird. One original, in case you missed it, folks, one original during intermission. Then there were 3 that they performed. And then all the other stuff was just amazing. It really was. I hope there's a live official multi-camera shoot that comes out.
yeah, that would be incredible.
I'd
Yeah.
love to relive it. The videos for it are shot so well that, like, bring those same people and just do it. I would love to have that. I'd pay top dollar for that. Seriously. It's great.
Yeah.
Some behind the scenes stuff, John trying to tell jokes, you know, it'd be great.
Yeah. I would definitely buy that, a DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it
Yeah.
is. There's a lot they could put on there.
Yeah.
And you know, in the week between, you know, I mentioned taking sort of a week break or almost a week between listens, and even without listening during that time, I would say Counties and Countries and Once Upon a Dream were like the sort of earworms that would still like stick with me before listening again to
Here.
refamiliarize myself with the whole album again.
It's funny. You're the only person I've heard use that, and every time I hear you use, I know I it resonates with. I know exactly what you mean, but I've never heard anyone else say that.
Oh no, I've heard other people say it too,
Yeah.
like in Yes groups and
Oh, really?
podcasts and
I've
stuff.
never
Yeah,
heard that. That's funny.
yeah,
Once Upon a Dream is truly a masterpiece. That's really a great song.
yeah. The beginning feels kind of revealing signs of God with that instrument that's used,
Yeah,
the chanting as well.
yeah.
It really is a masterpiece. That song.
You talked me into it. I'm gonna listen to it tonight. So, I don't know about you, Steve, but whenever I, growing up and growing older, seeing my favorite bands, Yes, Rush, Genesis, etc., when they would blow my mind after a great album came out and blow my mind live, my first question was like, okay, what's next? I can't wait to see what's next. Like, don't you wonder, like, you want to see this continue, right?
Yeah, I would definitely love to hear another one of these albums from
Yeah.
John and the band Geeks.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, would that sound pretty similar to this, or would they go in a whole different direction, try something kind of different? Like, it's really hard to say.
It is hard for me to imagine them doing anything more than embellishments of this, taking this and make it even more of what it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because even now, like, people are debating, like, does it sound like Yes, does it not? And
And does
like,
it matter?
people
Right?
take in those things differently. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, good music is just good music to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what it is. Just think another 10 years of this, and we'll be saying he's gonna be 90 pretty soon.
Yeah, like 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. In 10 years, you'll be turning 40. I'll be turning 70.
Oh gosh, don't remind me.
Great album. Deborah did great work, did her dad proud, I'm sure. And it's a nice.
She said it was a fun day doing that shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen some other images from that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing bits of those, like
Like a collage
online
or
in a
something.
couple places. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, chime in whether you're seeing us live now, and we're almost done, or on the archive on whatever channels you're watching us on. Drum Talk TV on YouTube, and Yesshift on Facebook and YouTube, and listening on Anchor. Tell us what you think of the cover. Oh, wait, maybe. Well, go get it, and then you can tell us. But go ahead and chime in, comment even after the fact. If you have it, if you've heard it, if you saw them, share
If you
your
get
thoughts.
the vinyl, tell us the differences.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wonder if they'll start putting, hey, I just thought of this.
What?
With vinyl coming back, are they putting any singles out on 45s anymore?
Oh, I think some bands are.
That'd be amazing.
They haven't done that with this, I don't think.
That's it. I'm getting a record player finally. We've got all this stuff that we get from artists and that we buy and that we get from record companies, and I still don't have a record player to play them on. So I need to get one. I got some really neat stuff, and I want to hear the difference. That's the thing. I want to listen to this in the truck and then run in the house in here, put it on the album, and then run back there again, and then come back. And I want to do the A/B testing and see what the difference is. Have you noticed? I mean, you don't have, and I think this is great, you don't have an expensive record player to make that comparison. So I think it's even more of a true comparison. Is there more warmth on the vinyl of something you've also heard as a digital download or on YouTube or as a CD?
Well, what I've noticed is that usually when I play a vinyl record, that I've heard the CD of, or like the digital version of, when I play it on this record player I have, it almost feels like the speaker filters it in such a way that it feels slightly older. I'm not really sure how to explain it.
Interesting. And it also matters if you're listening to a digital version like online, then it comes down to the device. And do you have earbuds in? And if so, what type? And like me, I Bluetooth it to a big monster digital boom box I have from my phone to that. while I'm cooking in the evening. And that sounds totally different than if I just play it off my phone speakers with earbuds, or if I were to listen to it on my laptop that's usually here on YouTube. So, how do you really compare is really the thing. Digital is this large array, but vinyl is vinyl. If you only have one record player, then that's what you got. We have many different ways to play it digitally, but usually only one record player.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm pretty happy with the CD packaging. The autographed insert, I'd have to put that somewhere safe.
I just leaned mine on the shelf where some CDs are. Right there. There it is, next to my rain stick, which is fitting for John.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So what do we have coming up soon? I think some guy named Adam Wakeman.
Yeah. So we have an interview with him on the. I think it's the 16th, but let me confirm that on our schedule.
And we might have breaking news about a scuffle, about a run-in or something he had with a guy from Jazz Sabbath.
Oh, sorry, it's the 17th at noon.
Okay, well, that's right around the corner. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a couple days.
Yeah, and Steve Howe's album Guitarscape, which he did with his son Dylan, that's also coming out. So we'll have that to talk about in the near future as well.
And we've also got Johnny Bruins coming from Total Mass Retain.
Yeah, September 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific. Yeah.
And he was in Circa, right?
Yeah, and Dioso, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the 20th, I almost forgot this.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not looking forward to the other guys, but this will be good because I love this album.
Yeah, September 20th at noon, we're celebrating 25 years of The Ladder. So
that blows my mind. 25 years.
Yeah, we can't stop talking about The Ladder now and then. So it's great that we'll be able to concentrate
kind of purge
all of that into one episode.
Yeah, purge. I remember, I think I saw them at the House of Blues in LA on Sunset when it was there. I can't believe it's not there. How do you tear something like that down? And I saw them a week apart from seeing John Paul Jones's first solo tour with his CD Zuma. And it was what 2 weeks of music, like those two bands in a 2 week or 1 week-ish span was just amazing. Like, I don't think I listened to anything else for a while. It was so good.
Nice.
Yeah,
you got a bit of variety there, right?
Yeah. So we'll talk about the album. We'll talk about the production. We'll talk about the packaging, and people can chime in their thoughts, of course, and we'll talk about the tour. I saw the show, like I said. So we'll make it a full-bodied and where it sits for people in the catalog. For some people, like the ladder. What about the former? Some people aren't even aware of it. So
what about the stairs?
The stairs,
or the elevator.
And the elevator. What about the fireman pole and the fire escape and the landing?
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Good month of music coming up on both Drum Talk TV and Yesshift right here, right now.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.